Hi guys, today I have something new and fun from Spellbinders to review. They did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you ever purchase items to those links. So this is a sweet set from the Be Merry collection, part of the new July releases, and my samples come something like this. They're a little baggy, and yours will be on a nice carrier. You'll have an image there to kind of go off of, some inspiration for your little gnome. In this case, it's the Dancin gnome. And if you guys remember the Dancin Santa or like the little elves that they've had, basically you put together a little guy or however, and the little legs will move back and forth. They just move around, really cute. So they move freely, where the body is just kind of more stationary, and then the legs move there. So I'll be using this today, so I'll show you how to put that together. And I kind of have them in a way that hopefully makes sense to you guys. So it does have a little tree that's very sweet with different layers, so we'll talk about that when we get to it. And then it has like this little accent layer, which you might want to do in white to look like snow, or however you want to do it, and maybe just a different color of green or however. There's a little stump that you can use or you don't have to use, but your little gnome can kind of stand on that, so it looks like he's standing on the stump there. There's an accent piece for that. There's the tree trunk, so these are all like brown items, so that's why they're put together that way. And then we have our pieces that have to do with the gnome. So we have like kind of like the background that you're going to build off of for his little head, but and then little beard or mustache, right? So the beard's down here, the mustache. You have your little arms, the little legs that are going to be swinging. They do have some little lines if you want to do like a striped legging or pant. You can have the little pieces there for that. On this bit here, we have the nose and little gloves. If you want to wear gloves, you have little shoes. However you want to cut these and layer those up. This is basically his little body piece, so that it was basically going to do something like this. I'll just turn it this way. So his arms will be there. And then his little hat. And his hat does have an inlay piece, so if you want to do a couple layers on that, you have that option. I'm also going to be using, with the Be Merry collection, there are foil plates and a stamp set, and I think there's another one with a little gal holding presents, which actually I ordered myself, so it's just not in yet. So I'll play with that when she comes in. But really, really sweet collection. And so there are, foil plates, and this is the gifts on Christmas sentiments, and it says Christmas is better when we are together. We have family and friends are the true gifts of Christmas, and then all hearts come home for Christmas, which is really sweet. And I mean, I could use these sentiments on all the other new releases that I have been trying out. They all kind of, go back and forth, mix and match together. This is the Holiday Gnomes stamp set. It will be available a little bit later, but I'll have the links for you when it's available, okay? But super cute little stamp set coming up from the same Be Merry collection. All right. I am going to use some snowflakes from this collection, from the 'Tis the Season collection. I believe this one is the holiday decorations set, and I'll just show it to you really quick. So this one, I showed you in the first video that I did for 'Tis the Season, just to kind of show you what I have from it. So we have the little ornaments and stars and all these sweet things, and I think I'll be using the snowflakes for sure today, and yeah, we'll see. So I have those pieces, but that's what I'll be using also. So what I'm going to do is grab a card base, and then the pieces of paper that I would like to use for our little gnome, and we will get started. Okay, so I was grabbing scraps and I figured, okay, let's talk about this. So he's going to be very Christmassy. So his little body is going to be in red outfit. I'm going to go ahead and cut his little arms out in red, because that way the sleeves are red instead of just being like a skin tone. And then we'll talk about his gloves later, so we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the base of his leggings also in red, so we have that. Part of his hat will also be red, but it'll be the hat and the inlay, so the little red outline will be on the outside, but underneath will be green. So I'm going to cut just by itself in the green, but this together in red, okay? So I have the green over here. Also green will be the trees. And it'd be cute to mix up the colors of green. I guess they don't have to all just be the one green, but I'm just going with all green of the one shade. A little bit of white paper here for the tree little accents. I'm going to cut out his little stockings. Why not? In white. I do want his legs to have a little bit more weight than everything else. That way they want to move, because if it's very light paper, let's say I only did the one layer and then some little shoes, you know, it might not be heavy enough to make it really move. So let's add some weight with it, even though it's minimal, but I'm going to use this on white. And then his little beard and everything is also going to be white. Why not? And then as far as these guys, I do have two different colors of brown here. I have, I'll color or not color, I'm going to cut this out in light brown, and then I'm going to also cut out just this middle part in like a darker brown to give an accent to the stump. And then the other stumps, or tree trunk we have there. So those will be that. Again, this one will be over here when I'm ready for it. And then his little accents. So of course the little nose, you know, whatever color you want the nose to be. I'll probably do like a comical pink almost, just because it's kind of fun that way. And then the red, I have literally a piece of glitter paper that I used the other day, a scrap, and I'll just cut that out to get his little gloves and his shoes. And I think that's it for now. I'll be right back. As I'm taping, the last thing I do want to cut right now, also with the white paper, is my little snowflakes from the 'Tis the Season set. Okay, I'll run these guys through and I'll be back. Okay guys, I have my pieces here. I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue because it has a very, very fine tip. And so what I'm going to do is, sorry about that, grab these little pieces. I was like, where are my pieces? I had left them on here and didn't spot them. Alright, I'm trying to keep the stocking pieces in one area so I can find those easily. And so all I'm going to do is match these up with my pieces of tree here. And instead of taking the glue to those little pieces, I'm just going to bring it here. Sometimes I like to put the glue on the surface. It just depends on what the item looks like. If it's very small or something like that, I'd rather put the glue on the surface if I know where it's going to be placed. So I'll do the same thing for the other two layers for our little tree, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have those here. And then just I'm going to layer up all the pieces that need to be layered up. So before we get to assembling everything. So sweet. And you know, I'm already wondering how cute this will be in felt. Put those together. And like his little gloves. Again, just put a little something here, a little glue there, a little glue here. And then, oopsie, that was interesting. I went to look for something and I looked away and I picked it up on my finger. We're gonna get our little guys, these little shiny gloves. And his little boots. And again, I just like to bring the glue to my surface. And then as far as the little white accents on his little leggings, I have them here. And what I try to do is I try to keep them in this, or whatever makes it easier for you. So right now I'm going to turn it over, and since they're all there, I'm just going to pop them out, and that is how I will adhere them. I did have a couple that popped out earlier, and I'll bring those over. So I know this goes like this, and then these little guys, there was a small one here. I'll just bring them over, the pieces that popped out on me before. There and here. And of course this is just an accent piece. You don't have to use this if you don't want to use the smaller pieces. And if you look at his little pant legs, there are little lines there. So I'm going to start with this top part and then let that kind of guide where I'm putting the rest of the pieces. There. And put 3 little pieces. What I'll do is I'll put the last one down here. And then I'll go from there, placing the other 2 pieces like right above that little line and right above that little line. You can put them wherever you like. So cute. And that little extra weight of like the glue and everything will help you have your little legs swinging. Cute are those. So this is going to go up on top of there, and then our little stump here. So I'm just layering up whatever I need to layer up. The stump this way, or is it this way? Oh, you know, that's not the right piece. I want the dark brown piece. Trying to see if it goes like this. Goes like this. So that little lump, kind of bump area is facing down. And so we have that, and we have this. Okay, I'm going to give these things a moment to set up, and I'll again grab my card base and we'll start building him up. So I do have some papers here. I have a card base just from one of the Spellbinders card kits, and I have a piece of blue paper cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so it's just a little bit smaller than the standard A2 size card base that we have here, which of course is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, but I have a pre-made card, so that's already done for me. And I'm just going to pop that down. And I just want the sky behind him to be very wintry, you know, and his little colors will pop on top of that. So I have this cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Just a piece of Crafter's Companion glittering snowflakes paper. Kind of Aurora Borealis looking in the background, so I thought that was really sweet. Okay, so we have that ready to go. And I'm going to build up his little body here. You know, so I'm going to stick down, I think first, his little beard. Because basically this is all going to be covered up, and what we're looking at is our little gnome. So you can put that wherever you like, wherever you think this works. I'll put some glue on the very top of his head. And kind of lining up the hat with where the head kind of bumps in. And of course you're going to put his little mustache and nose. And if you want to put some dimension there, you know, you can definitely do that. I'm going to put that down right here. And maybe we'll put a little dimensional on the back of his little nose. And it's going to have to be a small piece, so I'm just going to take something like this and cut a piece off of this. Where are my scissors? Here we go. Let's get a little, maybe still be a little too big. I'm being very careful not to snip my finger there. And I'll pop this on here. On the back. So this foam's a little bit thick, but that's okay. I'm going to trim off this little piece that might stick out back here. And like I said, I was going to make his nose comically pink. It is pretty bright pink. And maybe I'll move it up just a little bit. Something like that. And then his legs are going to be down on the card, and that's what we want to pay attention to too, where we're going to have it moving. So I'm just going to look at that for now. Not that that needs to get stuck down yet, but so you can have an idea, and then his little legs will move. But I want him on his little stump, but not quite, because I want the legs to move freely, and something like that. And we'll put his little arms on. So wherever you think the arms should go is great. Trying to think when we have our arms. Okay. Yes, I did look at my hands and say, okay, the thumb should be in. The thumb can be out too, because if he's going like this, however you want to place them is great. I have his arms kind of doing something fun. Ooh, yeah, there he goes. I was even thinking he can hold a little ornament. Wouldn't that be cute from that same kit? I know I've said whenever I say, wouldn't that be cute, I end up having to do it because I just mentioned it, and that would be really sweet. So there's that. So he's going to be in here somewhere. I haven't glued anything down yet because I want to see about putting this little guy back here. Bottom, middle, top. Oh, that tree is so sweet. Again, you can dimensionalize that guy too. And I think what I'm going to do is cut some white paper to go here, just to add a little something, or maybe in the background. Yeah, and I'll be right back. So I have a piece of paper. It's about 1 3/4 by 4. Spellbinders does have some dies that will make these beautiful hills for you perfectly if you're afraid to do this, what I'm doing here. But for now, I'm just going to take this and kind of do a little something like this. Try to do it smoothly as I can. And there. So I think that'll be in the background. Yep. Yeah. It's just something we're going to nestle in here. And sometimes it's nice to take the other piece that was left behind and pop it somewhere else, like here, just to give you some more dimension, but I'll put this here. And up here. Okay, so I'm going to grab some other stuff here. Just gonna kind of play with this and see what I want to do. Okay, I'll be right back like that. And I like the tree being kind of playful too, so I'm just gonna start sticking that down. And again, you want to do dimensions there, definitely. And since I have the dies in the 'Tis the Season, let me grab my little. I'm gonna grab the little star die. I'm gonna cut a little gold star to go on my little tree when I come back. And so I'll just put this little guy here and there, and just a little bit crooked, just because that's cute, I think. He's a little leaning there. Let me cut the little star and I'll be right back. So I just realized I haven't glued this down, so let me glue this down. And I'm keeping his feet kind of away from it so that they can float freely. So cute. And so if we have him here, I'm going to put a dimensional. And you want something circular, so I have this circular foam dots here. If you don't have that, you can cut it if you have just like straight kind of foam, more circular, but let me make sure I'm not sticking this down. I think that'll be good. I do have different sizes of foam circles, but I think that one's okay. Alright, and then we're going to pop this guy on here. So I just want to put down some dimensionals on him. And I'll be right back. Just holding that down. Okay. And I left the back on that one, sorry. And we're going to pop this down. So cute. So I just want to get him going. So this is the size of round adhesive I have. This probably 1/4 inch. You can get a little smaller, you can do a little bit smaller, but that's pretty great. Okay, and I did cut out my little stars. So I'm going to put a gold star on top of the little tree. Again, you can dimensionalize that whatever you like. And I'm just going to put that on there. So sweet. And I have the snowflakes, so I'm just going to get these guys out and just glue them down around the background. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just gluing these down. I need a little more texture in the background. So sweet. And put a little glue here and there. And then I did cut some ornaments out of some of this embossed paper, so I do have the little bits here, and now I have some extra ones I can use later. So I'm just going to put this on here and layer up this little piece. How cute are those? Just adorable. I'm going to let that set up and I'll be right back. And I want it to look like he's holding it, so what I'm going to do is just put some dimensional on the back of that and just place it right by his hand. like close to his little hand there. Like that. So sweet. Oh my goodness. Aww, look at that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add a sentiment. So I do have the, like I said, the stamp set will be available in a little while here. If I guess it depends on when you're watching. And I think I'm just going to stamp it right down here. And I know if you want to do this, I love this, everything about Gnome. You can stamp this before just so that you know that your paper, you know, that you do a nice job and then you don't have to worry about it. But I'm just going to stamp that right on there, just like that. Is it big enough to pick it up? Yep. And if I don't stamp it very well, guess what? We can cover it up with another hill of snow. Let's see here. And since this is our first time stamping this one, I can stamp it somewhere else first and then just have a feel for that. Looks great. And I'm just going to put it right down here. Yep, there's no one like you. You know, before I go, I found my dimensional adhesive that's a little bit smaller just so I can show you. So I'm just going to take this off right here. And since it is smaller, it's going to displace a little bit, but I'm going to move this off. And this little guy. So that's about 1/4 inch what I had before, and this one's a little bit smaller than that. I don't know what the sizing on this particular one is, but I am going to still put it kind of higher up where the legs were, because if I bring it down here, the legs are going to drop, so I still want it in the same spot. Just like that. And we'll bring his body back. And just put it right back where that was. And there and there. And now our legs are free flowing. All right. So, yeah, so I just want to show you there's a difference, you know, with the different dimensionals. You know, just pick up a smaller circle, and that'll work out a lot better for you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.